What's up, mateys? Welcome to the Mark Lesko Podcast. I'm your host, J Rod, and this is Pirate Central. First off, overall record of this week 4-2. Pretty nice. That first series against the Brewers, they had a fantastic first game. Fantastic showing. That 5-4 win, that back and forth kind of game, and they overcame it. I was very impressed. I very much enjoyed seeing them actually show up and do everything that you're supposed to in a competitive game against a competitive team. You're not only your rivals, but they're also a pretty decent team. Like, they're a team vying for a playoff spot. And you showed up and you actually beat them in a really competitive game. And then you just had the second game, and then you went right back to the stuff you were known for by just shutting it down. It's just that way they operate. I don't know. I'm absolutely amazed at how inconsistent. It never ceases to amaze me. No matter how many times I've watched this team, how many years of all the inconsistencies I've seen so far, and yet I'm still surprised when these things happen. But that's the result that it was. And then of course the big matchup, Paul Skeens versus I know it's Mizorowski, but I cannot remember the kid's first name. But you had Skeens versus Mizorowski, big young matchup. I mean, their phenom, the kid in their minors came up this season, and Paul last year doing the rookie of the year stuff he was doing, and they had a huge matchup. I mean, I think they said they had 30-some, maybe 40,000 people at the, Miller Park? I think it's what it is at Milwaukee. And, they just decided not to show up. I mean, Paul had probably one of his worst outings in his career. He gave up 4 runs in an inning, and that's enough for a guy like Paul Skeens. When the dude I think the most he's ever given up in his career is 5. Everything else Paul Skeens has done, he has never given up anything more than 4 runs in a game, pretty much. So, of course, he had to not show up against a team like that, and we kind of fought back a little bit, but naturally it was too little too late. I mean, they just have that pretty much down. Like, the ability to not show up when you need to, that's what you get. So we did lose that series, but then you could have given me a million guesses as to how that Met series was going to go down. Probably never would have guessed that. I don't think anybody could have. No one. No one in the organization, their organization, the fans, no one could have seen that kind of result coming. 30 runs for us and 4 runs for them. We outscored them 30-4. The Mets, that are pretty much prime to do something offensively as a playoff team, they're pitching. Their names are not all that spectacular. I know Senga is down with injury, so you got Peterson, Blackburn. Oh, what's the other name? Holmes. Like, I know they've got okay guys as pitchers, but we didn't see the worst of it. So, and then of course Frankie Montas was coming back from injury, and boy, did we just unload on him. Seriously, 9-1 for the first game, and yeah, everyone once in a while we're like, yeah, I mean, we're gonna show up here and there, and then the second game, 9-2, 6-run. 7th inning, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe what I was watching. This is just not normal. Like, and then Sunday, yesterday's game, wow. I mean, in that first inning, you had the 2 runs score, and it was Hayes hitting that bases the second, third with two outs, and then he scores 2-0. I'm like, okay, we got something out of it. It was a little looper of a ball, but then O'Neal Cruz comes up. I think that is a spectacular place for him to be in the lineup. I think he was good with the leadoff, and he showed some consistencies at the beginning of the year, but he was really starting to fizzle out. So it's like moving him out of that spot and putting him at 5th. I think it's perfect for him because, again, unloaded on that very first pitch that Montas threw, being 4-0, and then Pham, of all players, gets a hold of one oppo, and then it's 5-0 in the first inning. And then it was 6-0 by the third, and every other inning was like 1 or 2 runs, and by the end of it, it was 12-1. I mean, man, it's just so much refreshing as a guy who's always wanted to do a podcast about the Pirates to finally have a lot of great things to talk about. That has got to be the coolest series we're going to see all season. I mean, do we see it again? That would be wonderful. But to know that they have it in them, of course, everyone says, like, where was this offense all season? And it's a very good question. Everyone is contributing. Everybody. I mean, we always expect guys like Reynolds to come back, bounce back, and he had a good game. I think, let me see. Did he have was that yesterday or was that Saturday's game? Let me just double check that real quick. I know guys like McCutchen had great games. I know that Pham and Hayes had 3 for 5 and Hunter Davis went 4 for 4. I mean, there was a lot of great things that happened in that game for them. I just want to double check the Reynolds stats. Yeah, he was 2 for 4. Yeah, really fantastic. I mean, you look at the lineup as of right now from yesterday's game. Frazier went 2 for 4. Now he has a 252 batting average. McCutchen 1 for 3 with a walk, 266. 38-year-old guy, way to get it going. I mean, Brian Reynolds 2 for 4. His batting average is now to 240. I mean, it's pretty nice to see that. Canario had a walk and an RBI. I mean, 222. It's nothing to celebrate, but it could be worse. Horowitz had the only bad day, pretty much. I mean, Triolo, I mean, he might be getting sent down soon. I mean, or optioned out. I don't really know. He's not really contributing a lot offensively. The dude has a 167 batting average. That ain't going to cut it. But, Hayes, again, 3 for 5. Cruz, 2 for 4. Pham, 2 for 4. Davis, 4 for 4. I mean, the fact that we're witnessing a lot of great resurgence with the offense, finally. The only thing that they were really missing, everything was going great for them all throughout the season with their starting rotation, with their bullpen, everything defensively that was really going for them. This whole series has really showed some pretty impressive stats for them so far. I mean, when you look at what they went through with this series, I think Keller he finally got the run support he needed. He's now 2-10 on the season. His ERA is under 4. And again, maybe this is just kind of this thing they're trying to show up for. Maybe they want to be trade pieces. Like maybe the offense is finally starting to do something like that. Maybe that's why they do it. I don't know. But it's obvious that Keller is the trade option right now. You have Haney is definitely a trade option. I don't know if Falter is. I hope not. I actually do like the guy a lot. But these kind of questions do start to wonder. It's like, where was this all season long? I mean, it's so unbelievable how you're looking at a team that just has just one side of things going for them and nothing on the other side. And when it all comes together, this is what it's supposed to be. Not like this, though. I mean, seriously, 9 runs, 12. That's insane. I don't think I've ever heard of that. I mean, I think I heard someone say it has been since the 1930s that a team has done this, where every score was so lopsided like this, just complete dominance. In Pittsburgh, I know they have a winning record at home. They're 15 games under 500 now. They're 35-50. But again, it's quite obvious that this is starting to pick up. I'm very much impressed with what I've seen from this sweep. Again, another great sweep against the NL. What is that, East? Yeah, NL East. We need to really play that entire division more often. I mean, I think we're 3-3 with the Phillies. I think that's our only series we played against the Mets. We are 3-1 with the Nationals. But the Marlins are the only team in that division that actually has a winning record, but it's 4-3. So it's like, man, if we could have just been in the NL East, we would definitely have a winning record because we have a great rapport with that division. But yeah, for the most part, what are you looking at bigger picture-wise? I know that, again, 35-50, they definitely have a lot of questions still as opposed to what's going to happen at the trade deadline. Can they continue this surge? I mean, it's starting to get hot. Maybe the bats will too. I know that this team has definitely done everything it can to make you question what it is that makes a good baseball team or like a competitive one. Because again, all you're looking at is just the results from most of the season, again, which is just you don't show up offensively. Every series seems like that was the case. Can this be a new trend? Please let it be. I would very much welcome it. I think everybody would very much say that we would look forward to it. How could you not? I mean, being in a ballpark like PNC, and I've been there many, many times, I'm so lucky that I get to live in a state that has probably the prettiest and just the most beautiful ballpark. That landscape, guys, it's unlike anything. If you've not been there, I very much recommend it. Like being there in an atmosphere that is playoff adjacent, I very much appreciate what that legacy brings. And, guys, we do have to take a moment to acknowledge over the weekend that a legend had gone. Yeah, that was probably going to be my seventh inning stretch. The first pitch was this whole breakdown of the whole series, but this seventh inning stretch, I mean, I'll dedicate it to Dave Parker, the Cobra. Again, I've known this team since '92. I rewatched them in 2009. And the conversations were always there in my family. Like a lot of my uncles, my dad, his generation, they all grew up in the late 60s, early 70s, and they knew Dave Parker pretty darn well. I mean, he was the Cobra. He had one of the flashiest personalities. They said he was just one of the coolest guys that ever stepped onto a field. And, again, try to put it like the off the field stuff aside. I mean, we can't dismiss it, but at the same time, it's tough. I'm a very moral person myself, and I know of the things that had occurred during his career. Seeing him go from the Reds, the A's, like he was in the league, but he had some of the greatest performances as a Pirate. Seeing him win World Series and, seeing him do it, I think he was with the A's and with us in '79, being the All-Star MVP in '79. Yeah, that definitely, that kind of name and those stories that you hear, it's definitely that era. Like the late '70s, I mean, that's kind of what Dave Parker, he was kind of that representation. He definitely had that swag. He was a huge guy. I think he was like over 6'5", 6'6". He had a career batting average of like 280 or something like that. I mean, he was always a good hitter, and he knew how to play the game. He had a decent arm. To know that he was going to be Roberto Clemente's replacement in right field, he kind of stepped it up, and he gave so many great memories. I just know that it seems to me like that was kind of what a lot of people said, is that the reason why they had such an offensive surge was that Dave Parker and the Lumber Company kind of was embodying the players this week. And it pretty much kind of gives you that idea. I mean, they looked so different. They didn't play like they normally did. So maybe there was influence, but it is a tragedy that this man got inducted finally into Cooperstown. He's going to the Hall of Fame. No, and he knew it before he went. So, I mean, it's kind of like he knew that he was getting that kind of validation. And finally, the final destination, I mean, he knew that it was going to happen. So at least he was alive to know this was going to go down. And I'm sure they're going to do something really wonderful, for that speech. I'm sure they've got a good representative for that. So, but it's not easy when a guy who's waited so long and finally gets there and won't really have a chance for his moment himself. So I know he had battled with Parkinson's for the last 10, 15 years of his life. So he definitely was battling. And again, seeing that he saw that he was going in, I mean, at least he knew that. And he could go knowing that he finally got the respect and he finally got the call. So rest in peace, Dave Parker, and all the years that you've given, the great years to the Pirates, the 70s with the Big Red Machine, all the rivals with those players. I mean, it was definitely an era that kind of was defied by players like yourself. So that was a fantastic career. And yeah, you rest in peace, man. So with my closer, I guess I will say that the season's not over, not completely. I mean, we still have 2 weeks before the All-Star break. I know we have about 4 or 5 series, and I think all of them are winnable. I mean, I know we have the Cardinals coming in next, and then I think we're at Seattle. Yes, we're going to be coming. We're staying home for the Cardinals series starting tonight, and then we are home for the or we're going to Seattle. So you know, they struggled. They had a really tough series actually overall against the Rangers. I saw the overall box scores of all the games around the MLB, and I saw every game that they played went into extra innings, and I think that the Mariners won 2 out of 3. I think so. I mean, they had or you know, maybe they lost. Gosh, I can't remember exactly, but I know they all went to extra innings. But yeah, so I mean, they're an okay team. They're around 500. They're kind of hitting a stride of bad baseball. And I mean, listen, the Cardinals are coming in as hot as any team in baseball. They've just won 7 in a row. They have a lot of things going for them. So if we are to continue the surge, maybe this would be a great opportunity to like really say, if we're going to try to keep ourselves in this. I mean, listen, we're completely down in the standings. I mean, we're like 14 and a half out of the NL Central. We're like 11 and a half games out of a wild card. It would basically, you'd have to like go 22-4 in July. Like that's pretty much what you'd have to do in order for this to happen. But hey, again, crazier things have happened, guys. You just can't count any team out, especially when there's a lot of things going great. I mean, again, we're finally finding an identity with the offense. We finally have something to actually enjoy. And again, knowing that names like Pham are doing something finally, Cruz is figuring things out, Reynolds is figuring things out, Kutch has always been Kutch. And again, when I see Davis has 4 for 4, it's like, yes. Knowing that Bart could contribute with his bat, but keep Davis in the lineup, maybe you can see a lot more offense. It's definitely possible. So there's a lot to look forward to in these next couple of weeks. And I personally think that it's not over. Like, I've always been an optimistic guy. I've tried my darndest to always root for them no matter what. And believe me, I don't want success for Ben Cherington. I don't. That's the only thing I hate about it too. It's like, man, this GM needs to go. But if the more they win, the more it's like, they may backpedal and not pull the plug on it. But I feel like we have had so many negatives that if we're winning, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't, because we want these things for these players. We want these things for us as fans in the city. Like, the Steel City has been waiting for a championship for quite some time. We haven't seen a championship since the 2017 Penguins. So it's been 8 years since any team in Pittsburgh has been doing anything relevant. So I would very much be happy if we were to give a push, because again, I don't want Paul Skeens leaving Pittsburgh in 4 or 5 years, like not having a chance to go to the playoffs until he gets to his new team. It's just like, you got to try to get something started. You got to. I mean, there's been so many down seasons. Like, you've had your opportunities to take things like ownership and all that. Like, you've had chances to have losing seasons and keep the money and, you know, build your bank account. I don't know. I feel like you have all the bad times for it. Let's see some good times for a change. There's still time to turn things around. I know what did that make us? 85 games. So we still have 78. Yes. 78 games that are left in this season. I mean, if we make every one of them count, it's definitely possible for them to try to get themselves back in it. So I'm feeling pretty good about this, knowing that this team can show it. And it's a good I don't care if they're struggling. The Mets, I know the Mets are struggling. But the fact that you did this against an NL team like that, and they're in the hunt with their first place in their division, you take advantage of things at that point, and you didn't have it go the other way. You actually went out there and showed that you can be a competitive team. That right there was a fantastic thing to see. It's about as good as it would get. I hope it continues throughout this season. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on my final word. So you guys have yourselves a good one. I very much enjoyed this episode, and until the next time, let's go Bucks.